sometimes I'm afraid of hitting it too hard and then it's real soft.
I don't know what I did last time, but it just sounded like, and I was like, oops.
It's time.
Good morning, everyone. I invite you to take a moment to enter into a space of rest, meditation, and quiet contemplation as we enter this service with the ringing of the gong and listening to the prelude. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Olympia Brown Unitarian Universalist Church. Welcome to everyone here in person and everyone joining us on YouTube, both now and in the future. My name is Jennifer Simpkins. My pronouns are she, hers. Our welcome words this morning are from Alex Riley. It is good to be together. Together in this co-created sacred space where all are welcome. How you experience and express gender is welcome here. Who and how you love is welcome here. Where you are from and where you are in your journey is welcome here. Whether you come this morning full of energy or find yourself running on empty, you are welcome here. You are part of a beloved community that is sacred because each of us is sacred. Each of us is always held in a larger love. It is good to be together.
Good morning. Who is our chalice lighter this morning? And what is our chalice lighter's name? Luella. Lovely. So Luella is our chalice lighter this morning. And the words are by the Reverend Rebecca Savage. We light our flaming chalice as a beloved people united in love and thirsting for restorative justice. May it melt away the tethers that uphold whiteness in our midst. May it spark in us a spirit of humility. May it ignite in us radical love that transforms our energy into purposeful action. This is a chalice of audacious hope. This chalice shines a light on our shared past, signaling our intentions to listen deeply, reflect wisely, and move boldly toward our highest ideals. And so with that in mind, will you please rise in body or in spirit as you are able, and join me in singing hymn number 1017, Building a New Way. We are building a new way.
And now it's time for the message for all ages. So all those young at heart can come on forward. I knew it was going to be difficult today. There we go. Whoops. So this morning, I'm going to read you the story called We Are Here, written by Tammy Charles. Of course. So I got a message on the computer this morning that didn't like my PowerPoint. So I'm sure that's exactly what it is. So I don't even know if we're going to be able to use it today. I might be telling you the story the old-fashioned way, like I was a librarian. with an actual book. How unusual. What? I tried the arrow keys, tried the space bar. Well, I could reset the computer, but you know what? By the time I did that, well, if I have to do this, which is possible. Oh, so let's have Lincoln. Lincoln will be my, of course, let the children figure out how to use the computer. The journey of who we are stretches beyond rivers, roads, mountains, high-fiving blue skies. We were cool like that from the beginning of time, can't you see? We are seeds, you and me, roots thick with dreams and stars and possibilities. We turn numbers to seasons and patterns tracked moons in outer space. From brick and grit, we built this place. Big hands, small hands, powerful in every way. We are joy, igniting the world like stars caliente and bright, like trumpets blaring at midnight. You hear that? Skit, scat, caddywhack. It's the music of our past. It's our rhythm and our blues, but you can't choose just one. Our joy is the anthem of life, heard on monument steps, opera stages, stadiums filled with thousands of faces. It's in the spice of our aisles, the soul of our food, feeding, connecting us across miles. That joy, that wonder, a burst of sun rays laying the path for today and always. We are intercontinental, can't you see? With our strut and our style, trendsetters, go-getters, swaggers that sweeps across the globe. We are multi-dialectual and so intellectual. One heart, uma alma, un esprit, one heart, uma alma, un esprit, muchas lenguas. We speak the language of books and streets, feet stamping concrete, countless steps that set the world on fire as we sing and chant for all to remember our names. We are fearless, more than we know. When the world closed its doors and worry set in, there we were, putting on our capes, springing to action again. Why is that so? Because you and me, we have always been heroes. The same ones who sat to take a stand, the ones who ran so we could fly. So it's no surprise, dear child, we are all of these things and so much more. No matter what they say, because someday, when it's your turn to rule the world, people will be amazed and they will question the power of you. And when they do, you be sure to let them know you are brilliant, extraordinary, far beyond ordinary, the very best of who we are. And now it's time for the children's blessing. We are blessed by being, we are blessed by being here. We are blessed by being here together.
Being in community is sharing our joys and sorrows with one another. We draw strength from celebrating the joys in each other's lives and lending support, comfort, and care when we experience one of life's many sorrows. We offer you two different ways to express the joys and sorrows that may be on your heart this morning, spoken and unspoken. Just a reminder, if you're going to share a spoken joy or sorrow, that we are streaming online, so just make sure it's something you're comfortable sharing with the wider community. If you'd like to come forward with a spoken joy or sorrow, you may come forward at this time.
Hadn't gotten up. Good morning, I'm Maria Scott, and every year I host the parade at my house. Get up at 4:45, put out the blankets. And this year, I don't know, my brother said something about the Civil War, and we celebrated the end of an 8-year war yesterday. And it was war. It was ugly, but that's what it took to get us to this place. And I just wanted to say that. It was war, it was ugly, but sometimes we need an idea to get us someplace.
And if you have an unspoken joy or sorrow you'd like to share, you're invited to come forward at this time. We light one final candle for the joys and sorrows that are on the hearts of our beloveds joining us online. There is a love holding us, always. May we rest in that love. Amen and blessed be. All are invited in singing, There is a Love. The words are in your order of service.
Good morning. So I'm Patty Fitchett. I'm the Director of Community Worship at your sibling congregation, Bradford Community Church UU down Highway 32 to the south. And my pronouns are she and her. I'm very happy to be with you on this much cooler day today. Our reading today is called "We Come from a People Bound for Freedom." We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of orthodoxy. William Ellery Channing declared reason and conscience to be our guides. John Murray survived a shipwreck and preached a gospel of love. We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of white supremacy. Nathan Johnson, a Black Universalist in New Bedford, Massachusetts, who sheltered Frederick Douglass on his first night of freedom. James Reeb, a white minister from the North, who answered the call to march from Selma to Montgomery and was met with the violence of white supremacists. His death further catalyzed the passage of the Voting Rights Act. Esai Barnwell founded the Jubilee Singers, the first Black-led Unitarian Universalist gospel choir. We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of patriarchy. Olympia Brown fought to be admitted to seminary and became the first woman ordained by a denomination in the United States, campaigned for women's suffrage until the 19th Amendment was finally ratified. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper spoke to the National Women's Rights Convention, insisting to the largely white-led suffragists that Black women and men must not be ignored in the movement for equal treatment. Sylvie Thygesen helped to open one of the first birth control clinics in the United States in St. Paul, Minnesota, 50 years before birth control became legal. We come from a people bound for freedom, determined to loosen the fetters of all that dehumanizes and separates us from our dignity and sacred worth. Dorothea Dix visited the cells of the mentally ill in Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Louisiana, and North Carolina, bringing to light their mistreatment and working to establish humane hospitals and just laws. Martha and Waite Still Sharp worked in secret to secure passage for those persecuted by the Nazis in Europe, saving hundreds of lives. Zach Walls, raised by two moms, he spoke out against Iowa's attempt to ban same-sex marriage and advocated for gender equality in the Boy Scouts of America. We continue today seeking to be truth tellers in our time. We continue today as barrier breakers in the here and now. We continue today as peacemakers for this moment. We are bound for freedom, building on the foundations laid before us. Let us give thanks. Amen.
There are many ways we give to the life of our church, and the monetary offering is just one of those ways. Each month, we partner with the local organization and share the money we collect. Our partner for July is Tiny Hooves Sanctuary. Sandy Swiss is with us this morning to tell us about this organization. Welcome, Sandy.
All right. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. I'm Sandy Swiss. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm the president of Tiny Who Sanctuary in Union Grove. Thank you so much for inviting us here today and choosing us for your offertory program. Tiny Who's was founded in 2015 on a 3-acre property in Kenosha with just 11 farmed animals and 1 domestic animal. At the end of 2018, we moved to our current 33-acre property in Union Grove, and that does include a 12-acre hayfield. Since 2015, we have provided sanctuary to over 300 farmed animals, including pigs, cows, goats, sheep, horses, mini donkeys, chickens, and waterfowl. Many of our residents came to us with traumatic pasts, often victims of neglect and abuse. We patiently assess their needs, and we work with them to give them the best lifelong sanctuary for their individual situation. We currently care for many senior and special needs animals, and many of them live in our assisted living area in our barn. We welcome guests to the sanctuary by appointment and at various events throughout the year, including farm yoga, behind-the-scenes educational tours, summer concerts, open houses, and Pumpkin Palooza, our celebration of fall at the farm. This is a community favorite, and it's the favorite of our cows as well. We are currently home to 140 animals, and we are so lucky to have over 50 volunteers who care for them on a daily basis. Strengthening the human and animal bond is one of our core principles, and we strongly believe that sanctuary is for all, human and non-human animals. While the sanctuary was started for animals, it has become a sanctuary for everyone that participates and is involved in the organization. Community building and partnerships are so important to us, and we are so proud and grateful to partner with both East Hugh Coffee in Kenosha and Perennial Soaps right here in Racine. While every season has its own challenges, our summer fundraising focuses on providing additional care items like stall fans, Gatorade powder, and sunblock for the animals, and an electric bill that climbs with the temperatures. We are so appreciative of this time to share our mission with you and hope that you will visit the sanctuary, follow us on social media, or visit the website to learn more about our mission and our animal family. We would love to have you be part of our community. Thank you so much for having us.
We start our sermon today with what I would say is the second most famous reading about the 4th of July. So not the Declaration of Independence, but Frederick Douglass's "What to the Slave is the 4th of July?" And the famous abolitionist says, "Fellow citizens, pardon me. Allow me to ask, why am I called upon to speak here today? What have I or those I represent to do with your national independence? Are the great principles of political freedom and of national justice embodied in that Declaration of Independence extended to us? And am I therefore called upon to bring our humble offering to the national altar and to confess the benefits and express devout gratitude for the blessings resulting from your independence to us? Would to God, both for your sakes and ours, that an affirmative answer could be truthfully returned to these questions. Then would my task be light and my burden easy and delightful. For who is there so cold that a nation's sympathy could not warm him? Who so obdurate and dead to the claims of gratitude that would not thankfully acknowledge such priceless benefits? Who so stolid and selfish that would not give his voice to swell the hallelujahs of a nation's jubilee when the chains of servitude had been torn from his limbs? I am not that man. Fellow citizens, above your national tumultuous joy, I hear the mournful wail of millions whose chains rendered more intolerable by the jubilee shouts that reach them. If I do forget, if I do not faithfully remember those bleeding children of sorrow this day, may my right hand forget her cunning, and may my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. To forget them, to pass lightly over their wrongs, and to chime in with the popular theme would be treason most scandalous and shocking, and would make me a reproach before God and the world. My subject, then, fellow citizens, is American slavery. I shall see this day and its popular characteristics from the slave's point of view. Standing there, identified with the American bondman, making his wrongs mine, I do not hesitate to declare with all my soul that the character and conduct of this nation never looked blacker to me than on this 4th of July. What to the American slave is your 4th of July? I answer, a day that reveals to him more than any other all days in the year the gross injustice and cruelty to which he is the constant victim. I will not enlarge further on your national inconsistencies. The existence of slavery in this country brands your republicanism a sham, your humanity a base pretense, and your Christianity a lie. It destroys your moral power abroad. It corrupts your politicians at home. It saps the foundation of religion. It makes your name a hissing and a byword to a mocking earth. It is the antagonistic force in your government, the only thing that seriously disturbs and endangers your union. It fetters your progress. It is the enemy of improvement, the deadly foe of education. It fosters pride. It breeds insolence. It promotes vice. It shelters crime. It is a curse to the earth that supports it, and yet you cling to it as if it were the sheet anchor of all your hopes. Oh, be warned, be warned. A horrible reptile is coiled up in your nature's bosom. The venomous creature is nursing at the tender breast of your youthful republic. For the love of God, tear away and fling from you the hideous monster, and let the weight of 20 millions crush and destroy it forever. Fellow citizens, there is no matter in respect to which the people of the North have allowed themselves to be so ruinously imposed upon as that of the pro-slavery character of the Constitution. In that instrument I hold, there is neither warrant, license, nor sanction of the hateful thing, but interpreted as it ought to be interpreted, the Constitution is a glorious liberty document. Read its preamble. Consider its purposes. Is slavery among them? While I do not intend to argue this question on the present occasion, let me ask, if it is not somewhat singular that if the Constitution were intended to be, by its framers and adopters, a slave-holding instrument, why neither slavery, slaveholding, nor slave can anywhere be found in it? I hold that every American has the right to form an opinion of the Constitution and to propagate that opinion, and to use all honorable means to make his opinion the prevailing one. Now, take the Constitution according to its plain reading, and I defy the presentation of a single pro-slavery clause in it. On the other hand, it will be found to contain principles and purposes entirely hostile to the existence of slavery. Allow me to say in conclusion, notwithstanding the dark picture I have this day presented of the state of this nation, I do not despair of this country. There are forces in operation which must inevitably work the downfall of slavery. The arm of the Lord is not shortened, and the doom of slavery is certain. I therefore leave off where I began, with hope, while drawing encouragement from the Declaration of Independence, the great principles it contains, and the genius of American institutions. My spirit is also cheered by the obvious tendencies of the age. Our next reading comes from a UU minister, and it's entitled, "The Insidiousness of White Supremacy." Clint Smith says, "While a life like Frederick Douglass's is remarkable, we must remember that not every person who lived through slavery was like Douglass. Most did not learn to read or write. Most did not engage in hand-to-hand combat with white slave breakers. Most did not live close enough to free states in the North to have any hope of escape. No one, enslaved or otherwise, was like Douglass. There were other brilliant, exceptional people who lived under slavery, and many resisted the institution in innumerable ways. But our nation's teachings about slavery, painfully limited, often focus singularly on heroic slave narratives at the expense of millions of women and men whose stories might be less sensational, but are no less worthy of being told. This is part of the insidiousness of white supremacy. It illuminates the exceptional in order to implicitly blame those who cannot, in the most brutal circumstances, attain superhuman heights. It does this instead of blaming the system, the people who built it, and the people who maintained it. In overly mythologizing our ancestors, we forget an all too important reality. The vast majority were ordinary people, which is to say they were people just like everyone else. This ordinariness is only shameful when used to legitimize oppression. This is his own quiet violence. This next reading is by John A. Powell. It's called The Invisibility of Whiteness. He says, the invisibility of whiteness means that one doesn't have to notice that one is white. So there are people, and then there are black people. There are people, and then there are Latino people. And people, just folks, turn out to be white, but we just don't notice it. White people have the luxury of not having to think about race. That's a benefit of being white, of being part of the dominant group. Just like men don't have to think about gender. The system works for you and you don't have to think about it. So they live in white space and then they don't have to think about it. First of all, they think about race that's something that belongs to somebody else. The blacks have race, and maybe Latinos have race, and maybe Asians have race. But we're just white. We're just people. And that's part of being white. Interesting. And this last reading is by a really interesting man that I became acquainted with. I attended an online UU worship service, and this man was presenting the sermon, and his name is the Reverend Dr. Thomas Rideout, Glenn Thomas Rideout. He's a minister up in the Twin Cities, and the story was about, and he's a tall African-American gay man, and the story was he was moving from the East Coast to the Twin Cities, and a series of mishaps put him somewhere in the American South with all of his belongings in a U-Haul that he did not have the key for, and he was wearing his moving clothes, which he could only describe as like a tank top and his shortest going to the club booty shorts. So this was not a Southern U.S. friendly outfit for a tall gay black man to be stranded. And the story that he told about all of the miracles that happened that got him into his U-Haul and with his all of his possessions and all of the things that happened. Anyway, he was a wonderful man, one of the not very many ministers of color in the Unitarian Universalist denomination, but this is a story that was online by again, the Reverend Dr. Glenn Thomas Rideout. And he says, last summer at General Assembly, I walked out of the sanctuary we had made from the convention center space. He says, as tired as I was, I returned more and more to my deep introverted default of self, and I passed a woman who had to stop to talk with me. Many religious professionals who have led a morning worship service know this is where the work begins. She walked up to me and said, "Dr. Rideout," because she had enough grace to remind me of my title. She gave me the opportunity to resume my church face and posture. She held my hands as if we had known each other for the longest time. She looked into my eyes and she said, "You know what? I always sing that song, 'There is more love right here. There is more love right here. I'm gonna keep on, 'cause I found it. There is more love right here.'" I don't understand why it is that we don't sing it that way here at GA. We found our community of love. And because she had had enough compassion and grace to call me Dr. Rideout, she had given me enough time and opportunity to summon up a bit of stillness from the weary remnants of my churchman's posture. She looked into my eyes and spoke and sang with me her own truth. She asked with genuine curiosity why it is that we don't sing all the words that she had come to love. I was compelled to respond to the woman I had just met with, "Thank you for trusting me with that question." And then I explained to her why I thought it was necessary, particularly with the music of people of color, that we enter and examine these songs with more curiosity than colonization. I thanked her, and I explained that for those of us who live with the privilege of knowing love, it can be difficult to understand the perspective of one who lives without such a privilege. I explained that it can be difficult to understand the lived experience of those who have trouble finding the evidence of love in their immediate vicinity, in their church, in their neighborhood, in their city, in their nation, even in their planet. I thanked her, and I explained that for some who don't share the privilege of perceiving love right here and moving toward that idea of privilege had become a vital practice of Black faith. I offered that if we, as a spiritual community of Unitarian Universalists, populated by well-meaning people, are to mean anything to the lives and deaths of people of color, we must begin by learning, not squelching, the forms of expression that arise from these living perspectives. And she said, "Thank you. I've never heard it expressed that way. I've never understood it that way. And I will never sing it that same way again." When we inhabit the music, the forms of expression of people who lived their lives along the margins of notice, we must notice that we have entered holy ground, a sacred place of learning, a sacred place of relationship. And so please rise in body or in spirit and join me in singing hymn number 95. There's more love somewhere. We're going to sing it Acapulco.
Till
come to the end of our service, but not our calling in the world. We close our time together with the humble reminder that justice and equity are our spiritual practices to embrace each day, every day. We are blessed to be the embodiment of what is possible when justice and equity ground us in all we do. May we go forth with the light and warmth of our chalice in our hearts until we are together again. May you leave this time together changed. May the promises you have made to yourself about who you want to be feel closer to the reality of who you are right now. May you share that feeling of transformation wherever you go. May it spread into every word, deed, thought, and interaction until we are all changed, transformed, and transforming together, becoming our better selves. Amen.
I'm Gregory Mason. Time for some announcements. Just a reminder, there will be no July or August unifier being sent out. All news and events details will be included in the weekly Sunday reminder email. Please send church and community announcements to Brenda if you would like something included in the email. Church announcements can also be sent to me to be included in the spoken announcements after the service. Our Zoom coffee hour hosts are taking a break during July and August. You may still log on and chat with others, but there will be no host. The next deadline for paper raise right orders is July 19th. If you need a form, see me, or if you have one to turn in. Sunday, August 16th, will be our annual church picnic at 11 a.m. at Sanders Park. Please join Holland Dvorak, Carl Hubbard, and Diane Lang from the Social Justice Committee after our service today to hear updates on the hazards the Line 5 pipeline reroute can cause and current resistance that the Bad River Band is inviting us to do. There will be an update on the UUA's General Assembly from several of your OBUUC delegates and a chance to hear a short summary of our Meeting the Moment Abolition Past and Present workshops held here in June. We'll meet at a corner table in Erman Hall at 12:15. Thank you to our volunteers today. Our ushers, Kathy Carson and Joe Cushing. Our coffee hour hosts, the 8th Principal Committee. Our camera and sound tech, Bill Garvey. Our cell phone monitor for latecomers, Hannah Spica. And my assistant today, Becky Spica. That's all for announcements. Please join us for coffee hour. For those on YouTube, log into Zoom for your coffee hour. The link is in today's email.